I received several updates as a member of full self-driving beta, as well as the holiday release, as well as moving to user interface 11. So this quick video will run down those that were important to me. The release notes, improvements to full self-driving are continuous, and we'll check on those as we go through our normal route. Visualization improvement. Large one here is the app launcher changed quite a bit. You can now see that there's a quick reference and a recently used down here at the bottom, along with the ellipses, the other applications that are available. There's already talk on Twitter about how we can hide some of these on the next update, possibly, if you just never use them. If you don't have a SiriusXM account, then maybe that's one you could hide. That was able to be done previously. Waypoints, that's a big one. So on navigation, megaphone boombox. You can talk to people outside your car. TikTok is now included. Sonic the Hedgehog, along with Polytopia multiplayer and Sudoku. You have a setting where when it's an autopilot, the suspension is set to comfort automatically. Big improvement to audio, subwoofer controls specifically, which goes along with another big one for me coming up with Tidal was added. It's my premium service of choice. You can run in dark mode if you choose to exclusively. Auto park, this is a big one. We'll see how that one works. Perpendicular parking, just using painted markings and road edges. Previously, it had to see two cars and kind of split the middle. Now we'll look at the road signs. Driver profiles, you can take your settings with you, along with navigation. But any profile can have different work or home settings. Adding a stop, that's the waypoints. Charging used to have a dedicated menu. Now it's under the normal controls. So if I touch up top, it pulls up as part of the normal controls, and the same options you had before you have now. Setting your battery, setting your start time. There are a lot of new features to look at for this full self-driving beta 10.8. 10.7 was skipped for most participants as it came out with the holiday edition, along with the update. So now we have our usual 3 destination route we're going to do. In this case, we're able to use waypoints. So I've entered 2 of those destinations already, and adding a third is as simple as hitting the ellipses, adding a stop. I'm going to go to add third destination. And you can see it's taking us backwards. So I'm going to hit that ellipses again to edit the trip. And we can drag and drop destination 1, destination 2, and destination 3. And now we're in the right order. It will calculate. It will show the battery percentage at each of the destinations, so we could determine if this was a longer trip, whether or not we would need charging along the way or not. So with that, we'll get started. So this is 10.8 on the full self-driving. Additionally, we do have the new user interface, version 11 user interface, and a critique that I have, having had the software for a little bit already. It's kind of a simplified view down here at the bottom with the access buttons. The defrost button, both front and back, were taken off of the quick reference tray down there, and so in order to get to those, I would have to go through here and then here, and the ease of getting to defrost. Sometimes when that's important when you're driving, you don't want to be looking down and fiddling with that. That may be one thing that we want to put back into the simplified user interface. And I know there's a lot of discussions on the opinions and the first draft of user interface 11 and how that might get better. We'll see. We did have the right of way there, but we were pausing for the car to our left. It was almost at the same time, but we did get there first, and we're on the right. So as a human driver, I decided that we had the right of way. Even there was quite a bit of sway between the lateral movement between the lane. I have noticed having this for a while. There's some imprecise turning, some wide turns. I've crossed the line a few times, both the center line and the shoulder. On times when I didn't think it was necessary. We weren't trying to avoid anything. This car simply was a little jerky compared to other iterations and not as precise in staying in the middle of the lane. We'll see if that shows up on our drive today. Yeah, we're touching the middle lane right there, middle line right there, as well as oncoming cars. So it's interesting that, you know, should cheat a little bit to the right even. There are quite a few cars around us, so this will be a real-world test. See how much confusion we end up causing. Yeah, so that was gonna go over the line, and that was gonna hit that small retaining wall there. That little bumper. I'd say that's not atypical with this release. It's kind of what expectation. I've had to be a lot more diligent. Some legitimate safety concerns on this release. So our destination 1 is an eventual right-hand turn. Other iterations have placed me in the right-hand lane to better prepare for that. So it is interesting that we're choosing the center lane again, or the more center lane. And it may be the traffic around us manipulating that decision, but again, this is not a surprise in that I don't have as much confidence in this iteration. So that was good. The car naturally followed that car as it would in a normal way, but also not so good right there at the end. We switched lanes while still in the roundabout. That I don't think is a preferred method to do that. You'd finish and then go over. So we are at destination 1. It's actually the parking lot to our right, and we are just stopped in the middle of the road. So I'll take over and I'll put us back on track. It'll recognize the destination 1 is complete, but maybe not the best thing to stop in the middle of the road. if you didn't have a second destination in, it would just continue to progress forward. And I would think that if it knows where you're, if you hit destination 1, it would just, and the driver doesn't take over, that it would naturally continue on to destination 2. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the car assumes that the driver has to take over in order to do something at waypoint 1, including hit continue trip. But did not handle that well. But stopping in the middle of a road is probably the least preferred option, in my opinion at least. Lots of cones. Let's see how well it does. It sees the cones. It sees that that's not an option. It sees that they went away. That's good. We are stopped. I have to hit the accelerator because everybody around us expects us to move out of their way. That was, but that was a pretty violent swerve. Choosing the outside route, no consistency between iterations, whether it's outside or inside. Again, maybe driven by the cars around us. That went to the outside, and that was good. And now we're immediately getting back to the inside. Not a natural movement. At this point, it usually gets to the end of the merge lane before realizing that it needs to get over. So we did an attempt and then came back. That was not smooth at all. There's no one around us. So this is a tricky transition even for a human driver. But most of the time, if there's no cars around, the Tesla actually does pretty well. A little hesitation there as I saw a car coming. But all the lane movements were fine. I had to hit the accelerator as not to scare that car behind us. Alright, so again, we've hit destination 2 and we stall and stop in the middle of a road. Now we got a car coming up behind us. Again, I think a preferred action would be to continue straight, whatever that means, or immediately on to your next destination. But sitting in the middle of the road is not a preferred option. So I had destination 3 in there. And even though it stopped and it knew destination 3, we had reached destination 2, it didn't register to that 3 was the next waypoint. It's the first time I've experienced that. Might have been because I accelerated through it there at the last second to get out of that car's way, but no one's coming. I'm gonna hit the accelerator. Amateur slow down and stop. No one in sight. No one behind us. I'm just going to let it go. Alright. So not horrible, other than a significant pause there where we didn't need one. Alright, so that's not bad. We do need to be in this lane. Car realized it kind of late, it seemed, and we are stopping. Okay. I'm hitting the accelerator because folks behind us need us to go, and there's no threat. Pausing, we're jerky, but it maneuvered fine. It's just that commitment and the timing. And again, phantom jerking to the side. I think that might have been a shadow. This iteration, though, I've just seen it more and more. This is the first time I have legitimate safety concerns. I think there's the potential this runs into a barrier or... So quick thank you to Jason Malone and his First Timers podcast. If you're interested in hearing from me for about a half an hour on all topics Tesla, Jason and I had a good talk. He's available on the Spotify. So there is a fire truck coming that car just indicated it was going to jump in front of and then stalled. So I made sure to hit the accelerator. I'm sure they're not too happy. And now they're behind me, so we'll see how we can further upset them. We can do that by stopping for no particular reason. I hit the accelerator again. There's no one around us other than behind us. The car was aware. We are dangerously close to the left there. Both that small curb as well as the line. The car was cheating left for some reason. Yeah, so overall, I think this is a step backwards. The ability to stay in the center of the road, the inability to stay in the center of the road reliably, I believe this is the biggest safety concern that I've had since starting full self-driving beta testing. Maybe only compared to stopping when you're going to get hit from behind. It was my only concern before, but now I truly have concerns of going over the line, possibly hitting small curbs or barriers. In some cases, there might be a soft shoulder, and every time we come near one of those, you clench up a little bit because I think this car has the potential to fall over an embankment at this point.